If you are a former patient of Dr. Levy's and wish to register to participate in this class action, go to www.drlevyclassaction.com. How many people have registered for the class action thus far? We approximate that between 7,000 and 8,000 individuals have registered so far for possible compensation in this case. The reason it's an estimate is that there have been many duplications of registrants. People who have registered more than once, people whose lawyers have registered them as well, and so we are working through the list to be sure that we have each registrant only once. And we believe that we have between 7,000 and 8,000 to date. You're asking what is happening to the photographs that Dr. Levy took. Rest assured that they are under lock and key in a secure environment so that no one has access to them presently. If we are successful in concluding this litigation, there will be a waiting period of a matter of years, after which we, meaning all parties, will apply to the court for an order to destroy these images. If the court sees fit and gives us the order, the images will be destroyed at that time. The question you have asked is, how do we know that the images are not on the internet? And the simple answer is, we do not know, and we will probably never know. And the reason is that Dr. Levy took his life. Therefore, there is no further criminal prosecution, there isn't any further criminal investigation, and we can't ask the doctor or prove whether he disseminated those images or not. Some of you have asked whether there is an evaluation process for damages. As I have previously indicated, if we obtain our final approval in this case, we will bring in a group of experts who are skilled and who have experience and who know how to evaluate the damages each and every one of you have suffered. And they will look at the nature of the damages you have suffered, the extent of those damages, the permanency of those damages, and any disability sustained. And after that process is complete, they will then place each plaintiff in a specific category for damages, which will then be assigned a specific amount of damages. It is only after the entire process is complete and the judge has passed on and has approved the process that specific damages will be awarded to each plaintiff and distributed. What happened to the criminal case regarding Dr. Levy? And the answer is there is no criminal case because Dr. Levy took his life, as we all know, in February 2013. Therefore, the perpetrator is deceased and there will be no criminal prosecution. The question you are asking is, how are we proving that everyone was a patient of Dr. Levy? And we will begin the assessment with the confidential patient list from Johns Hopkins Hospital indicating whether or not a person was a patient. And we can go further with that utilizing medical records and, of course, speaking with you, our clients. If someone registered who is not a patient of Dr. Levy, what happens? The answer is they will not be eligible for compensation in this class action. In order for a person to be compensated, they must have been a former patient of Dr. Levy. The question asked is, if a patient went to Dr. Levy once, twice, or just a few other times, but suffered trauma, are they still eligible for compensation? And the simple answer is yes. If you were a patient of Dr. Levy, went to him, and suffered legitimate injury, as a result of his conduct, you are eligible to be compensated at the conclusion of this case. The question you have asked is, what is happening to the $190 million now? The answer is, if and when we receive final approval of the settlement, because we need final approval for the settlement before going forward, the money will then be paid into a qualified settlement fund, which is a fund with an administrator who will control that money and invest that money in an interest-bearing account. And so the short answer is the money will be paid into a safe environment, safe bank account, with somebody watching over it. It will be invested, and the interest will be credited to you. The question you have asked is, if there is a recovery, is it tax-free? And the answer is, under the current laws in the state of Maryland and these United States, the recovery under these circumstances will be tax-free from a federal and a state standpoint, but you must check with your own individual tax advisors to confirm that information. The question you have asked is, if you are seeing a therapist, who do you tell? And the answer is, if the case is finally approved, we will bring in a sophisticated allocation team of individuals and experts to make an evaluation of each plaintiff. At that time, you will tell that team that you have seen a therapist, how many times, and you can identify the therapist.